Johnny, listen, you are a hard man to catch up with. Listen, all I can say is thank you for your time today because your schedule is absolutely insane.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm glad we were able to catch up for sure.
And I want to say a huge congratulations on being a part of and soon to be a season 3 with Cross. Congrats on that. How do you feel? Right. How are you feeling about that? How do you feel about being a part of such a successful, groundbreaking show?
Just an immense amount of gratitude. Doesn't come around very often in Hollywood, obviously, to be a part of something iconic, from the James Patterson novels all the way to taking that world here to cinema. It's very beautiful. So to be a part of a, fantastic collective, like I said, just immense gratitude.
And when you first came across the script, like, did you immediately believe in not only your character and your character Bobby Trey's storyline, but just this series as a whole?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think everything is shepherded very masterfully by Ben Watkins, our showrunner. I always tell people when I read the pilot, that scene between Aldous, Isaiah at the dinner table where they're having that conversation in episode 1 in season 1 about peace officers versus police.
Yeah.
I had never read that before. Most
Mm-hmm.
shows are not trying to engage in that level of conversation, so that's why I wanted to be a part. And obviously, I believed in Bobby Trey. He's very eccentric, of course, but I believe in all the characters I play, just because my job is to give depth and breadth to the Black experience, to the Black diaspora, and so I'm always betting on my ability to be able to put nuance and cultural awareness into what I do.
Yeah, yeah. And when we're talking about Bobby Trey, like, how do you feel like as a Black man and as an actor, just in like, all different areas, right? Because I feel like there are so many different layers to this character. How do you, Johnny, personally resonate and connect with this character's shoes that you feel?
I resonate in the background, I guess. For me, I spend so much of my career, as so many of us have, I'm assuming in various different forms. Um, you watch a show and you be like, damn, I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
And it's a white show. You watch The Penguin and you be like, damn, I wish I could do something where I'm walking like Colin, his hips is all messed up. I wish I could do that. You know what I mean? Or you'll because the odds have been stacked against us so much. So for me to be able to put something dynamic on wax, um, um,
Yeah.
uh, that's what I'm excited to be a part of. To be able to talk about, in the background, the things that have happened to our people in Louisiana, especially given how relevant that is now. I mean, I just read a an article where they said in our lifetime New Orleans will be underwater, right?
Mm.
So in the background software, when this brother saying his family's land was taken from him, would climate change be the way it is if we were allowed to shepherd the land the way we wanted to shepherd it? You see what I'm saying? So those are the kinds of things that allow me to connect, especially, and then obviously that goes back to DC as well,
Yeah.
with what's happening where the show is set. So um, for me, those are the things that excite me, that I get to speak about, that people are curious about because they watched season 1 and like, what's going on with this brother? You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So it's just great to be able to put three dimensionality on camera. You know what I mean? Heath Ledger's Joker. I mean Jack Nicholson. You got the brothers from Casino and Godfather, and a lot of times we're told to believe that they're the only ones that can do that, and as Black folk, we can do that too.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, your work comes across on screen excellent and impeccable. So, want to pat you on your shoulder with that, but everything can't be perfect, right?
Yeah.
Everything cannot be so effortless and seamless. So, with that being said, like, in what ways would you say this particular role has and also continues to challenge you?
The
It's still
violence,
ongoing.
the
Mm.
violence, the violence. I think, especially like I said, when tapping into those real sources, those rooted sources, I think a
Yeah.
lot of people think violence is super sweet because in Hollywood they make it look real nice. You know, you got the character that's he slides over the hood of the car and pow pow, two people get shot and everybody nah nah nah. What what they don't show you is the stray bullets that killed the baby in the supermarket across the street. They leave that part out. You know what I mean? So some of the violence I've had to portray, you got to go to some dark places.
Yeah.
So for me, like I said, it's just the violence. Like some of the like in season one, we got the gun that season two there's a sniper rifle that folds up and puts goes inside of a backpack. And for somebody like me, I didn't know that existed. We don't got
Mhm.
healthcare, but we got a gun that can fold up and go in a backpack. Our priorities are out of whack. So dealing with those conundrums on set, while also dealing with the conundrums of a character like Bobby Trey, who's been indoctrinated the way he's been indoctrinated, have just been, difficult things to sit with. But you call the
Yeah.
ancestors and you do what you need to do.
Invite me into Johnny's headspace. I want to RSVP, right? Into your life and what that journey looks like for you preparing for roles. Not even just like Bobby playing this
hmm
character, right? But because you've been a part of several countless projects at this point. But like, what does Johnny Ray Gill's process look like preparing for the roles you take on? Like, are you meditating, you praying, you fasting? Are you locking in, doing a lot of reading, blocking your family out, your loved ones out for, a little bit of time to
Yeah.
stay in tune and focus? Like, what does that look like for you?
For me, it's books, research, and dramaturgy. The imagination is only as useful with as much information as it has. You don't come up with physics just sitting in your house going, "Oh." You need the continuous education of humanity. So when I was on underground, it's like, "Oh, wait a minute, what's? Oh, wait, mental health did exist at that time." We just didn't
Mhm.
call it mental health. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So those people existed. So what was that like underneath? What was it like to be a person that was experiencing that, but also underneath slavery, right?
Yeah.
So same thing. Like when I got to Bobby Trey, it's like, okay, Shreveport. What's Shreveport about? What it sound like? Where has he been? Oh wait, what kind of music does he like? Would he have been maybe he in another life he would have been a show tunes dancer. What does that look like, right? So for me, it's just all research and dramaturgy and trying to put as much cultural awareness, historical awareness into what I'm feeding myself as possible. In season two, when they have the military experiments theme, for me that was about the Tuskegee experiments.
Yeah.
Not a imagined they experiment on soldiers. No, rooted in the actual things that are transpiring, and then your soul kind of takes over the rest. And as far as blocking out the family and stuff, that's kind of unfortunate. That's kind of the nature of being a nomad in the game. You can be away from the family a lot of times. Uh, so you do have to lock in and get about the work of being an artist. And as Toni Morrison said, art is dangerous. So when you're dealing with dynamite, you gotta you gotta make sure some people is out the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna go off my script just a little bit because I truly want to know this about you. If you were not acting, what would you be doing? And listen, I'm a
Oh man.
journalist. I'm sure you've been asked this question plenty of times. So something tells me you would be in the academic type of
Probably, yeah,
space.
probably. I wanted to be a paleontologist when I first started as a young person. Wanted to be a zoologist after that. I love astronomy, so I would, if some aliens came down here right now and said they could show me a nebula, I'm out of here. They're gonna be upset at me on set tomorrow. Because those things are beautiful and fantastic, but definitely something in the sciences. Um, I'm a big fan of Neil deGrasse Tyson, and his genius. I'm a writer as well. So definitely in academia, but you know, um, and who knows? Those are paths I'm thinking about. How does that intersect
Yeah.
with art and activism, and how does that intersect with other parts of your life? James Cameron built a submarine. It was inside the ocean. So a lot of times those dualities for us as black people exist. We just don't have the funds to be able to execute. So trying to think about
Yeah,
that as I move forward.
I agree with that. What are you reading right now? What are you currently reading?
Currently reading, I'm reading this book called Propaganda, actually.
Okay, okay.
By Alec. Hold up, it's right here. Hold up. If I can get this brother's name right. I don't know if that's his name,
Can I just say I love the fact that he just stepped away from.
boom, because I want to get his name right. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Boom. So we know what's going on. It's a very, I think, important book. He's a civil rights activist. Alec Karakantsanis. Want to make sure I get his name right. Because his last name is hard for me to say off top. But it's an important book, and I think everybody should read Propaganda. It's got a lot of information about how police and the media manipulate the news.
Mhm.
Uh, and again, those are things that you can, as an artist, you can infuse inside your work. You
Yeah.
can talk to the writer and say, well, actually, the police don't know that. So can
Right.
we have him say this, or can we massage it like this, right? Um, because a lot of time the specificities of what the police, what the military can do in white shows are for white characters, are very specific, and then in ours,
Yeah.
you know, they're just kicking in the door. Nobody knows about warrants. Nobody knows about rights. Nobody knows about any of these things. So it's definitely a book folks should check out.
Yeah, listen. So I'm clearly one of those journalists. I tend to go off script a little bit because I feel like it's very important for the viewers and the world to really learn a little bit more about these characters that actors such as yourself portray on screen. So I am going to go ahead and will it back into Cross,
Do it, do it.
your
No,
character Bobby,
do your
because
thing. Do your
I can
thing.
keep going like
Please.
on the other end of
I love the
things.
energy. This is beautiful.
But with Bobby, from looking at where your character went from season one on up to season two, soon to be again season three, how do you feel about your character's evolvement? Like, are you happy with where things ended for Bobby in season two?
Yeah. I mean, I put it like this. My I don't like when it comes to where the character be going, I don't be thinking about that. That's above my pay grade. So for me, it's really about it's like getting a great book. You say,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna read it. Oh, okay, this is the journey that they want to go on, and it's about, you know what I'm saying, diving into that. That said, Bobby just feels like a swamp coming to the surface. A
Yeah.
lot of the things that were there in the subtext for him in season one rise to the surface and are more evident in season two. And I think that torment, that torture, that guilt, those chickens coming home to roost are, you know, evident even stronger in season three. So I'm excited for this brother to wrestle with the life that he's created, the choices that he's made, and do so in a real and poignant way.
Where are you guys in season three? Have you started filming? Do you know where things are going for you this next go round? Like, what bring me up to
Oh
date?
yeah, yeah. We've started filming season three out here in Toronto and T dot. Excited to be here. Now you know I can't give you no spoilers. I get in trouble.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But I think it's going to be a very interesting season. We've got some very exciting new stars that are on board. I think the last year, season two, I feel like the scope was really grand, and
Yeah.
we was going all over the world. And this season is taking a turn. It's getting focused. It's getting dark. People are
Yeah.
being, you know, it's a very haunting season. I can say that. So yeah, it's going to be very cerebral. And I'm very excited about people seeing what we cooking.
From season one and season two, was there any ad libbing going on your end, or are you entirely sticking to script? Like,
It's some ad living going on, you know.
okay,
It's
see,
some
this is
ad
why
living going
I
on.
asked.
But yeah, I mean, it's always in collaboration with the writers, you know. It's not a situation where folks just be going off doing monologues. But just always like trying to make sure you're saying exactly what you want to say
Yeah.
and being able to filter you know, being able to filter Bobby Trey through the correct cultural, the correct cultural lens, you know. But yeah, it's you know, it's a little word ahead to a three, a four, five, you know.
Who are some of those black male actors
Oh,
that continue, I know, right? That continue to like inspire you. Like you think about, or maybe one of their movies, one of their projects, one
mm.
of their lines, you
James Earl
know.
Jones. James Earl Jones, rest in peace. On my Instagram, I put there's a scene he has from Fences with Courtney B. Vance when they was on Broadway when the original production, and
Mhm.
the strength and ferocity and grace. He almost looks like a. It's funny. There's a picture of LeBron James where he's like doing one of those tomahawk dunks,
Yeah,
but if you
yeah.
look, his feet are pointed like a ballerina, and it's this
Mm.
incredible like power and grace, but then also
Yeah.
like softness because the you know what I
Mm.
mean. And so
Yeah,
that's what James Earl Jones is to me as an actor.
yeah,
And so I watch that scene all the time because I want to be able to do that in my life. I think about Mahershala Ali a lot. In many
mm.
ways, I feel like our careers are following a similar trajectory. I
Yeah.
love the depth and breadth he puts into his work. Sterling K. Brown's another one. Jeffrey Wright, probably one of my favorite actors of all time.
Yes.
So I'm always just looking. I call them my faraway mentors. I've never met
Mm.
any of these brothers, but I'm constantly watching their work. I'm constantly watching the choices that they make. Idris is another one that I think is fantastic. His again, the choices he makes, he's never safe. He doesn't rely on stereotypical ideas of beauty. Like you see him in Beasts of No Nation, and then
Yeah.
flip that to Luther. Like he's always taking, risks. So there's so many dope actors and actresses as well that I follow their work and put the tools in my toolkit. So when I'm in,
Yeah.
I don't know, Quiet Place 5, I can get active. You know what I'm saying?
You are so great to talk to. You genuinely are. And I listen, I feel like with my background going on, I feel like we on set across with the ambulance, the fire truck.
I can't hear nothing. You good? I can't hear
Oh,
nothing.
okay. Well, that's a good thing. I gave away too much.
You must be
I
in
know you have
America
a
for
busy
sure.
schedule, and I
Ambulances.
truly appreciate you making time to talk to me. I'm going
Yes.
to go ahead and close it out, but I want you to dig deep into your spirit and tell me, how do you feel about this particular phase of your career in your life as an actor?
I feel grateful that I didn't give up. I feel grateful for
Yeah.
perseverance. Because I feel like this is the part where everything's coming together.
Yeah.
Um, you know, um, Nas has this great record where he calls it your second childhood. And I
Mm.
think a lot of us, because of the way America is structured, we are slow getting into full adulthood.
Oh,
We
that's
are very
deep.
slow, you know what I mean? So, we're shedding a lot of fear and we're shedding a lot of trauma.
Mhm.
We're unlearning things that we were taught by society at large. So many different parts of me throughout my life are now fusing
Mhm.
together. And so I'm very thankful for that journey and happy to be stepping into to full manhood, you know?
Yeah, I'm very happy for you.
Thank you.
Very.
Thank you very much.
And I feel like obviously the best has yet to come. So, congratulations again on a season 3. Everything else coming forth for you. And I will talk to you soon. I feel like we're going to have
Fantastic.
another chat again.
Hopefully we can. I appreciate the energy for real. So look forward to the next time.